Okay, so this unit had some issues with the lifter. There's no power to the lifter. We replaced the battery yesterday and thought that was going to, without testing it, and thought that was the problem. Later on in the day, today, the lifter failed, the battery discharged. So I want to check out this solenoid valve to make sure that the primary battery, which is the truck battery, is allowing power to flow through the solenoid and back to the secondary battery. So the first step is, we want to find out whether this fuse is good. It's right here. It's a 250 amp fuse. We don't need to take this all apart to test it. All we have to do is come to this terminal here and find out if we have voltage. If you do, then the fuse is good. So we'll do that first. So you get your voltage meter. You want to set it to DC current, 12 volts. Put the negative terminal to the battery, and then come in and put your meter on that first inlet post. And as you can see, there's 12.7 volts. How this works is there's one side of the coil here goes to ground, the other side goes to the ignition switch. When you turn the ignition on, it closes this bridge and allows power to flow back to the battery in the back. The reason for that is that if these were connected all together all the time, then if this battery failed, it would pull this battery down, and if this battery failed, it would pull this battery down. So when the ignition's off, these are completely isolated. When the ignition's on, this bridge is closed, power goes through. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to disconnect this terminal from here. I'm going to put my positive terminal, my positive meter terminal, on here and go to ground to see whether when I pull the coil in, when we start the engine, if it allows power to go through. The only way to really determine that, if you've got any power in this, is disconnect this terminal, which I've loosened off and I'm pulling off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the engine on, and then I'll test across those leads. Okay, so I'm going to go onto the negative terminal first, and I'm going to see whether there's power to this terminal here. And I do. I have 12.2 volts, so this coil should be pulled in. If I put my meter on this terminal, I should have voltage too. And I do, which tells me that the coil is pulled in. Now I'm going to go ahead and shut the power off. I'm going to do a confirmation test. I'm going to go back to the ground, and then I'm going to test to that control wire, and I have 0 voltage, which I'd expect because the engine's not running. And now if I go over here, I should see 0 voltage here, which I do. So this solenoid valve is actually working. There's nothing wrong with it.